Welcome to Book Talks with Mrs. Harris. This is the January edition for 8th grade. The first book that I want to talk to you about is titled American Royals, and it's written by Katharine McGee. So this book takes place modern time, but it's in an alternate reality where when America won the Revolutionary War, General George Washington didn't become president. Instead, he became king. And so the Washington family is a royal family instead of the citizens voting on the president each year. So the main characters are Princess Beatrice, who is actually going to be the first American queen. So they have recently changed the law where the firstborn, whether male or female, will reign and become the king or queen, where in the past it had always been the firstborn male child. So she is going to be our first queen. And then it's also about Princess Samantha, who is her sister, and she is thought of as the spare because nobody cares about the spare. She won't ever be the queen because Princess Beatrice will be the queen. So she gets into a lot of trouble and breaks all the rules. And then Samantha's twin, Prince Jefferson, who, if he had been born just one generation earlier, even though he is the youngest, he would have been king because he would have been the firstborn male. But they have changed the rules, and Princess Beatrice is going to become the queen. So this is just a really fun book. It's got some romance in it. You get to see the lives of the royals, and there are they're teenagers. So what would it be like if you were a royal and about to be the queen of America? The next book that we're going to talk about is one of my absolute favorites from the last few years. It's titled Scythe, and it's written by Neal Shusterman. It is a science fiction. It takes place in the future, and humanity has conquered disease. There's no war. There's no hunger. The medical field has gotten so advanced that you have these little nanobites that live inside of you that anytime you have pain, they take over and take away the pain, and no disease will kill you, and so no one dies. So they have formed together kind of like the government, and they're called the Scythe, and they're the ones in charge, and they are the only ones who can end life. So they get to determine who continues to live and who dies, when you die, and how you die. So, and every year, so many teenagers are chosen to become an apprentice to a Scythe. And so this book is about Citra and Rowan, who have been chosen to be apprentices to a Scythe, and they are learning to be part of that government that gets to determine your destiny. The third book I'm going to talk to you about is called Buzzkill, and it's written by Beth Fantasky. And this is a mystery, and it's got a little bit of humor too. It's kind of like a funny mystery. So their coach at their high school, his name is Coach Kildare, he has been murdered. And Millie, who is 17 and she attends high school, she is on the school newspaper, and she decides she is going to investigate. And then all of a sudden, Millie's dad, who is the assistant coach, becomes one of the prime suspects. So in her investigation, she's not only trying to figure out who murdered Coach Kildare, but she's also trying to clear her father's name. And then she pairs up with Chase Albright, and he is going to help her investigate, but he's got some secrets of his own. But Millie thinks he's just the most gorgeous thing in the world, but so she's kind of dealing with her feelings for Chase while trying to clear her dad's name. And then all of these things just start to happen, and they seem to all be happening to Millie, and when Millie is around places. So this is a really fun, I say fun, that's a bad word for a murder mystery, but it's actually got some humor in it. This is a really fun book, especially if you like mysteries. The next book is a fantasy. It's titled Children of Blood and Bone. It's written by Tomi Adeyemi. And this is a fantasy book, and the world is a magical world. And the main character, her name is Zelie, and she is a magi, which that means that they have magic. And when she was younger, she actually witnessed her mother being murdered, and then very soon after, all magic had disappeared. And anyone that had those magical powers had to start hiding those powers because of the person that is now in charge. Well, with Zelie meets a runaway princess, and together they go on lots of journeys, dangerous journeys, trying to just bring back bring back the magic and get rid of the evil man that has taken over their country or their village and that has made them hide their magic. And she has to fight this king that was the one that ordered her mother's murder years and years ago. If you like that fantasy adventure, there's lots of it's just action packed, dangerous, and lots of magic in this book. If you like those kind of books, you will definitely like Children of Blood and Bone. I gave this one 5 stars. And the last book we are going to talk about in this edition is titled The Fountains of Silence. It's written by Ruta Sepetys. It is a historical fiction, and it takes place in the year 1957 in Madrid, Spain, and it's soon after the Spanish Civil War. And so, during this time, a dictator, his name is General Francisco Franco, he's in charge, and he's not really nice to the citizens of Spain, but he has treated tourists and Americans very well and promised them all kind of business deals and things. So we meet Daniel Matheson, who's the son of a Texas oil tycoon, and they have arrived in Madrid for business. But Daniel loves photography, so while his dad and mom are there on business, he is going around taking photos of things. Well, something that he's taken a photo of catches the eye of the kind of like the dictator's guards, and they don't like it, so they try to confiscate his camera. But Daniel kind of he gets away a little bit, but he also through this meets Anna, and Anna lives in Madrid, but her family has really been affected by the Spanish Civil War. But their lives collide in this story, and it's it lets you look back into the 1950s and some things that were happening in Spain, even though some of that is some dark history, but you do get to see some real happenings in Spain during the 1950s. But it's a beautiful, beautiful story of friendship, love, and kind of revealing some dark secrets. I hope you have enjoyed this month's edition of Book Talks with Mrs. Harris. Come down to the library and check out one of these books or talk to me for another suggestion. Have a great day. And stay tuned next month for more Book Talks.